to the Area 51 Raceway bench. So I'm going to start my MT 2023 racing proxy NASCAR that I want to enter, and I have right here the original NASCAR, one of the liveries that were actually raced. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to strip this paint. But what I want to do is remove the body and kind of look at the width of this. Since we're staying with the same height and width as what we're looking for, I'm going to measure this with a caliper and see what width I have here. I'll turn my caliper and get it right here and measure the outside of the wheels. And we got 5630, 32, we'll say 5620. How's that? It's moving around a little as I'm moving it up, so that's going to happen. So we'll say 5720, 21, that's close enough. I'll lock this in place. Now, see, I have my parts here, my wheels and everything, and I'm going to open everything up here. So I am using the 17 by 8 wheels. I'm not using 15 by 8. And for this particular car, I'm going to get my set screws and put them in the wheels. And I'm going to pull the axles out too, because I need the axles. And put these on, these set screws. And one thing about these set screws is you want to be careful you don't lose them. So make sure you're in a space where if something falls, it's not going to fall, or it's going to get lost if you don't have any spares. Put those in. I'll take the slotting plus axles. Now I get the longer ones because more is better, because if you make a mistake, you could always remove, but you can't add. So this is kind of the concept I'm going with. The tube that I have, which I had a moment ago, and now I cannot find it. It's right here. Yeah, it is. So there we go. So we have, this is, I believe this is 4 centimeters, 4 centimeters is what I have here, this tube. What I'm going to do is pre-fit stuff to see if I got that width there that I want, which is 5621 on my caliper, 5620 roundabout. And I'm going to get my bushings and put them in here. And I'm going to get my axle, slide it in there, and get my tire. And just tighten this up just to keep it on there so it doesn't come off while I'm doing stuff. A little snug tight in there. I'll get my other bushing, my other wheel, and tighten up there. And there's my length there. And let's see what we have here. Correct width. So we need to cut this tube off a little bit to get the correct size. So I will cut, I would say, maybe a little under 0.5 millimeter. Now that I've trimmed off that much off the tube, not much. So this is why you should do little at a time and then fit it, and then you need to remove little at a time, little sanding, and now we have what we need, which is the 5621 or 5620. So this is the same width as this, as you could see. So that's perfect. And one way you could check is obviously going with, what this looks like right there, and that's pretty much on the money. And then what you could do is get the car and see that it fits right here. And obviously we have some side-to-side play here, see? So there's room, which is perfect. So that's fine. You just gotta make sure, when you center your body, you're centering it right, obviously. But there is room in between there. So we have enough to, place this under the car. And this is how you get your width that you're looking for. And again, this is your guide right here, the original car, obviously, because all this I'm not going to use. And then the pipes, obviously I can't use the pipes. I could probably take them off and then maybe glue them underneath or something, I don't know. Or I can make my own pipe out of brass and incorporate it into the chassis, which that has been done before. Tom Edmondson is really good with that with his build, and I'm going to try that, and I'll show you how I do it. So now we have this. We could measure the fronts too, and the fronts are a little bit narrower, as you could see. So you see the rears are wider and the fronts are narrower. So we will take that off, and we will go like so, and get this measurement for the fronts. And I got 53.81, 53.80. That's what I have there. So what I'm going to do is get a piece of 11.45 brass tubing, and the tubing for the rear axle, I'm sorry I did not say anything about that, is the let me double check, the 8130. That's 7/32. So now that I got this, I want 53.81. So if I could go ahead and put this right here, I can just mark it, and then again, if it's off, you could always, you know, trim it down, but that's what, obviously that's with the tires and everything. So what we'll do is that's our width, 53.81. We'll come here, and what we could do is pull these off, because these will pop out. We're not going to use this. Take that out of the way, and here's our, we did do our width. So let's do the inside here to see what the axle will be at, or close to it. So let's say we'll go with, let's go right here on the hubs. So say we'll go with 33.58. So I'm going to go with that number. We'll see what we get. All right. Let me move to 58. So let's go 60, because we could always get a little bit more, and then we'll shave as we do it. So I'm going to go here to this and mark, get an idea where to mark would be the end of this caliper finger here, and I'll mark right here. And then what I'll do is I will cut the tube at that point with your tubing cutter. And done. There's our size. And then I'll get my file and just kind of open the hole up a little like so. Just file it a little bit. See, I'm filing right here. Just don't want to get the debris all over the bench, the brass pieces. Then we'll do that, and there we go. So I got my axle in there. So what I'm going to do is get my front tires and my wheels and measure that to see if they're near where we want it to go. So I will move all this stuff out of the way and get my wheels. Get my set screws. Gosh, open, there it is. Sometimes those things bounce around and you don't see them. And I don't have my old man glasses on at the moment, so I will get my set screws and put them on the wheels. And other set screws. Like that. Then I'll get a wheel, of course, put it on the axle. And tighten this up here. Get that snug. Get my other wheel. And put it on. Now I got the wheels on, I'm going to get the tires. So I'm going to do it with the tires and all. These could be a little bit of pain in the butt, so remember, be patient with them, because they slip over the other side pretty easy, so they could be a little bit, honestly, like that, a little unmanageable, and it just did what I said it was going to do. So I'm going to take that wheel off, and see, this is the kind of things you run into that you just have to deal with. So what I will do is I will take that off, because I have the axle really tall on this thing. So what I'll do is I'll partially put it on at the end and then slip the wheel on, the tire on, excuse me. And these things fit on there really good once they're on there. So now I have it on, I'll just open that up a little like that, and then move it in all the way, tighten it, and then this way I could close the over the set screw hole. Get my other tire, slip it on. Almost messed up again. These tires are a little bit tough. Like, again, just deal with it. There we go. All right, here's our fronts. Now we'll get this one, and a little bit, looks like a little wide. We'll have to see what our measurement was before, right? For the originals was 53, 66, 67. We'll close these off, lock it in place, and pretty much there actually, you know, that's good. We're fine. Then we'll look at the inside and the front, and we're where we should be, right there. See, perfect. There's some room. Now, if it looks like they're kind of sunken in, and if you could go out a little, you can shim them out a little, but that should be fine because that's the same. We're basically the same width as these, and these are your guides for your widths of what the car is. So, just like that. Now that you have that done, that's one step that, you know, it's all finished and said and done with, and you're pretty much set. Then I'll place the car on it. Obviously it's not going to be that low, but you pretty much, you know, have what you need there. As far as the width go, that looks like that'll work. And obviously when you raise this, it'll be at the height that we want it, which is not as stated in the rules, you know, not covering the wheels, 3/4 of the wheels, so right about there, probably pretty good, but we'll, you know, that'll be another step. So you have the wheels all neat, the wheel widths all done and everything. So that's one step right there. You know, that's what I would do before you start soldering anything, is get your wheel widths to make sure you are where you need to be. And again, that's pretty darn good. I think we're good there. I think we'll be okay. And again, if you feel like you need to shave some of the axle down, you just get sandpaper, grab the tubing end, and just, here's an example, and just do this, because you're going to remove material once you do this little by little, and that's what I was doing to get my size. And if I need to go down a little, I could do that also. It can be a teeny bit narrower, but I think where we are at is where we need to be. And now what we'll do is we'll solder the mortar bracket onto this with the axle in place, and make sure our the mortar bracket is measured in between there as the next step. So I hope you've joined this first part of doing the MT NASCAR series that they're having for March. If you have any questions, please let me know, and as always, take care and have fun racing.